find the defendant, Tomas Rivas, guilty of murder in the first degree.
After days of intense testimony and emotional accounts from survivors and family members, a verdict reached in the trial of Tomas Rivas. He was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News Now. Monica Cortez. Rivas is one of 4 people charged in connection to the March 2025 shooting at Young Park that left 3 teenagers dead and more than a dozen others injured during a car meet. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo, she was inside that courtroom when the verdict was read. Diana, we heard a bit of that reaction. What was it like being there in person?
Well, Monica, it was emotional. The victims' families, and Tomas Rivas' families were in the courtroom today, as they have been since day one, and a majority of them were in tears as that verdict was being read out loud by the judge. Now, to give you an idea of how today went, jurors began deliberation at around 12:30, and the verdict didn't get reached until about 3:30. Now, jurors were tasked with deciding whether Rivas was guilty of first-degree murder with a deprived mind, which is, in simple terms, means acting with extreme recklessness and disregard for human life. The jury also had the options to lesser charges, including second-degree murder or voluntary manslaughter. Now, during closing arguments, prosecutors maintained that Rivas and the other defendants arrived at Young Park with the intent to harm Dominic Estrada, one of the 3 victims in this case.
They went with guns. They went with masks. They went prepared to engage in a conflict.
The defense, however, argued that none of the bullets linked to Rivas' gun were the fatal shots. Attorneys also claimed the shooting happened in self-defense, referencing testimony about Ruben Morales, a state witness and relative of Dominic Estrada. Jurors heard throughout the trial that Morales grabbed one of the defendants during the initial confrontation, holding him in a bear hug. The defense argued that action triggered the gunfire.
I tell you, the line started with Ruben Morales, and in laying blame for this terrible tragedy that resulted in his nephew getting killed, one of his nephews being wounded. He is absolutely to blame, and he constantly lied to law enforcement, and he lied to you on the stand.
Now, again, Rivas was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder, which means now he could face up to 3 life sentences. Now, no word yet on when he will be sentenced. Once we know that, we will, of course, keep you updated. Now, this is the first trial of the 4 defendants. The next defendant to go to trial is actually Tomas Rivas' brother, Nathan. That trial is expected to begin this week. Back to you.